Back to a routine. Welcome back. Those of you who had off the last couple of days with me, hope you had a nice holiday. Lots of crazy things going on. Actually, a lot has not changed since our call Sunday night. We had a little review yesterday evening. Something we're thinking of doing is every day at market close, going over our the call outs and the predictions we've made in the morning. And there were really no surprises since our Sunday night show. But this morning, there's a lot going on. All right. So, first of all, Apple last night, there's a report out from Bloomberg that they are reducing production due to unexpected low demand on the new iPhone 14. So, overnight, futures took a big hit. They were down about 1%. It looked like the SPY was heading for an open, like right near the 200-week moving average, which is fine, right? That's just a catalyst to reach that technical level we're waiting for, potentially a bounce off that 200-week moving average. Now we see futures really sharply turned around, and that's because the Bank of England, this is just all developing very quickly. I'm not totally caught up with it, but it seems like the Bank of England abruptly switched from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. They are, instead of selling bonds, they're buying bonds to, I don't know what's going on there. This is just all breaking for me this morning, trying to figure it out. But in either case, because when you look at that 200-week moving average, I said it's a magnet trying to get there. And once it gets there, we can look at a potential bounce off that level. Obviously not guaranteed, but usually a good bet. So short term, I am overweight on trading shares and different kinds of stocks, looking for a bounce here. Maybe we'll get it. Of course, this is lots of crazy mixed news, right? Coming out of Apple and what's going on now with the Bank of England. One good note is that ARK really held up despite the sell-off the last couple days in QQQ and SPY. You can see that sell-off over here. ARK really held its own over here, further solidifying the possibility that $35 is the bottom for ARKK. Possibly, we'll have to see. But man, there's a lot going on. Let's get into some specific stocks. Oh, first of all, bonds, unbelievable. Bonds hit a new low yesterday. See, it's up 1.5% this morning, but probably related to that switch. Perhaps there's going to be some speculation the U.S. will follow. Who knows? Positive sentiment here in terms of Fed actions. But man, a lot of wealth destruction in bonds. We haven't talked about it much, but it's been crazy. It makes me feel good about some of the losses I've been taking in risk assets because bonds are down like 40% this year and over 40% from the peak. I mean, it's insane what's going on. That's where the big money is. That's where the billionaires hide their money. That's where pension funds put their money and retirees put their money. Massive, massive wealth destruction in bonds. It hasn't been talked about much yet. And I wonder if that can cause some sort of liquidity event in funds at some point and cause some sort of spiraling event similar to what we saw in the financial crisis. Something to watch for. Okay, any case, let's get past the macro. Oh, I did want to mention the Nord Stream pipeline. Apparently, speculation is that there was some explosions, some sabotage coming from Russia to Germany because the pressure was lost on there suddenly. And now we're seeing reports early this morning that it looks like it could be explosions that caused that. And potentially those pipelines are out of commission permanently. Now, natural gas is really what's impacted in Europe. This is a U.S. natural gas, so it's different. The price there might be up. I assume it is. So one of the plays we look at from Matt gave us this idea is coal. So BTU, Arch. Oh, you can see they're up this morning. I don't know if it's related to that pipeline, but I'm holding BTU and Arch going into the winter based on the thesis from Matt in our community that Europe and Germany will need coal to heat their homes this winter. So holding BTU and Arch. Bad news for natural gas in Europe. All right. Now let's get into some specifics on stocks. So a big headline here. Lots of things going on in Rumble today. I did pick up some this morning in the high 11s. And there's going to be potentially a lot of volatility in Rum. A few things are happening today. Well, first, let's go through the previously scheduled item, which was 12 p.m. today. 12 p.m. today, Russell Brand is doing his first exclusive on Rumble. Now, he has millions of followers on YouTube. I think he has like 11 million followers on Twitter. So interesting thing happened is one of his videos was just censored. And he went on Twitter yesterday to talk about this YouTube censorship that was happening It was something to do with COVID, I think, vaccine. It was censored. But in any case, he went on YouTube, talked about the censorship. Elon Musk. So don't forget, 12 p.m. Catalyst. But what happened? Elon Musk replied and said, "Good point," to this tweet from Russell Brand. And then you had basically every executive and large shareholder of Rumble respond to Elon Musk. First it was Don Bongino, then it was the founder of Locals. I forget his name. The founder of Locals, who now is now owned by Rumble. And then finally, what happened was Elon Musk responded to Don Bongino saying, "I'm kind of tied up. I don't have time to deal with Rumble now. Like I'm kind of busy with things, something like that." And then Chris Pavlovsky wrote back to Elon Musk on that and basically made a plea to him to, hey, let's work together. Let's at least start with like some Starlink redundancies, satellite stuff with our server, something like that. And then Elon Musk wrote back, well, maybe it's worth a conversation at some point. So that's really interesting because just the speculation of Joe Rogan potentially coming on, it was a very similar type of thing. It was public conversations on Twitter with Joe Rogan that got the stock going from like $10 to $18 earlier this year. Of course, now the situation is a little bit different, much more shares outstanding now that the deal is done. But just that speculation got the stock up really high. Now you have people thinking, oh, Elon Musk, at least it's on the radar. Even if there's no deal, we now know Elon is aware enough of it to say maybe it's worth talking to the Rumble guys about something. So that's very, very interesting. And that should be a tailwind for the stock in terms of buying the dips, right? And then the other thing, we have the 12 p.m. Russell Brand. I said that 3 times. But what else is going on? Last night, Rumble was down, completely down for like a half hour. And it was maybe an hour and a half until services were restored. Now, while they were doing this, it seemed that they were scrambling at the same time to prepare for Hurricane Ian, in Florida. And that may have played a role in the downtime, may have played a role in how quickly they were able to respond to the downtime, because employees over there in their headquarters in Florida, it's outside Sarasota, Florida. It's right on the beach, actually, right outside of Sarasota, Florida. Were hunkering down and making preparations. I'm sure they're trying to make preparations for the office building. Their office building is a few blocks from the ocean. Unbelievable. And this hurricane is making a beeline towards them. Well, it's maybe 40 miles, 50 miles south is where the center is going to come in, but they're going to be really impacted. Now, the good thing is that the center of the storm is shifting southward, which means the worst of the storm surge is not going to be in their area. Instead of getting 12 to 18-foot storm surges, they could see a 6-foot storm surge. But this is going to be a significant storm nonetheless, because they're looking for 1 to 2 feet of rain over there, 6-foot storm surge. The winds will stand up to modern buildings, even if it's close to Cat 5, which it's nearing, but they're about 40 miles, 50 miles north of where it's coming into the center. So talk Cat 3 winds or whatever it may be. They'll be fine with that. The problem is water and flooding and storm surge. And, I was worried potentially they have servers down there. So I put a tweet out there to Rumble yesterday, and they responded that our servers are not in this location. Now, where are they? I don't know. They may be somewhere in Florida, but they talked about that there will be some disruptions anyway. There will be disruptions this week. And they said, we try not to rely on one data center, right? Which means they do have multiple data centers, but probably not everything is 100% redundant. So there could be issues. So this is an interesting day for Rumble, because they may be on tap to do one of their largest live streams ever at noon, when you just had downtime yesterday and you have a hurricane heading right for the headquarters same day, and then you have what's going on with Elon Musk. So what does that mean? It means volatility. It means it means sell the rips, buy the dips. I bought that dip this morning, 1184. I'll be selling the pops. Maybe something I'll do is sell covered calls. I've been talking about these calls for a while. I haven't had a chance to do it, well, because they only went live like last Thursday or something. But I may be looking to sell covered calls on pops. Rum BW, another way to play it with warrants. So very, very interesting. Lots of different catalysts going on for Rumble. Very interesting to look at. All right, CVV is a stock that was presented, I think, by Julian in our community. I don't even remember. Maybe I had found it. It's like I got to refresh myself on what the story is here. I know Sanjay got into it. Julian did some research. Maybe Sanjay presented CVV, right? I think this is is it a semiconductor company? I don't even know. I just know it's on our list. And this morning they had some very material news on some real estate sale and leaseback agreement, which is going to net them over $20 million after taxes, expenses, and fees. And look at the market cap here. The market cap is just $30 million, and they're getting $20 million cash right now. Of course, their expenses will go up by about $1.5 million a year, it looks like. So that's something, but very, very interesting possibility here. Looks like material news. We'll have to see what happens. I did grab some here, different prices, 484. I did grab some here as well at 484. So we'll see what happens throughout the day. It just looks like 20 million cash on a 30 million market cap. My instinct says that that's something that can cause some sort of re-rating in the stock today. So something to look at. Good Gaming, GMER, has had some news this morning. Now, a couple folks in our community have been really on top of this. It's been going up almost every day here from 3 cents now to 7.5 cents. So the news, look at it. Good Gaming announces official launch date for the new Minecraft OP prison game featuring microbuddies. I don't know a lot on this. I haven't been keeping up. So head on over to GMER Research Group to learn more about this, and maybe we'll get another update presentation on it. All right, KMPH is one we noted Sunday on our Sunday night show as something that had both technicals and a catalyst here and fundamentals. That could be a good buy. So I actually did pick some up on limit orders that I had in for Monday morning. So I picked up some KMPH, and then this morning they announced top line data from phase 1 clinical trial. For phase 1, not so important. You can it says it when the technicals are good and you have other fundamentals are good, and that RX script numbers coming in really solid, and you have that recent upgrade to $20, like stars are aligned. So any catalyst can be used as an excuse to get it going and move and bounce off of these multiple moving average support lines. So KMPH hoping for a pop today. You can see INMB is up a little bit, about 3%. And that's because a sympathy move in the whole Alzheimer's sector. See, Biogen, oh my gosh, up 48% on good data on their Alzheimer's drug here. And wow, 48%. So, and Lilly's part of that. Apparently, there's some sort of collaboration with Eli Lilly. You can see Lilly up 7.5% with Biogen, and apparently Cassava is up as well. So sector sentiment move on Alzheimer's stocks. I have to wonder what that means for long term for INMB, right? One of the things that attracted me is, hey, there's no real medicine since like Aricept for INMB for Alzheimer's, so I wanted to really be an INMB because maybe they would have the next drug that's going to be better than Aricept. But now you have this data coming out that obviously market's excited about, 50% move on Biogen. What's that mean for my INMB thesis? I'd like to hear from Dan Carlson or others on that. So I put a note out there in the INMB room. We'll see if we get any responses. Rewalk, I just want to note they had some news here. They're submitting to Medicare now. Okay, Rewalk is a stock that's basically at a zero EV. It basically always trades at a zero EV, this stock. So I don't own it, but just noted this. Is this enough to get the stock moving, starting to submit to Medicare on September 26th, following some announcement last week? Let me see what it says here. Yeah, I think it said something changed last week that allowed them to. Maybe it's not on this one. This is a Benzinga, right? It's not the full article. Yeah, if you go to the full one, I think it did talk about some sort of change here that allowed them to bill to Medicare. So, all right, that's interesting. TFFP, we didn't get the news we're looking for. I don't know what's going on there. So lots of sellers. You can see that. We'll have to see if that resolves in a positive or negative way with that news that people wanted that they didn't get. I'll jump down quick to SIGA. I got in this because of the 200 DMA. They did have monkeypox news, 16 million order. Is that going to be enough to get a bounce here? Perhaps the $12 or 20 DMA in the coming days or weeks. We'll have to see, but I'll have a quick RSI really oversold. So I'll probably sell this at like 11 if it gets there. All right, so that's it. A lot to look at today. Particularly interesting to see what markets are going to do. If it turns in a green day on this bad Apple news day, that'll be a positive sign. But again, we didn't even touch that 200-week moving average, and that's very often a magnet. So I would not be surprised if we first touch it somehow, that 200-week moving average, before any chance at a good rally. But you never know what's going on with the Bank of England. It's also a good sign that we flipped green on a day that was deep red because of Apple. We flipped green this morning. That's also a good sign. So I really can't pinpoint exactly when or if we'd get a bear market rally here, but I'm leaning towards a bear market rally around this level, the 200-week moving average. And let's not today talk about what happens if we break below that. Okay, that's a story for another day. Could be pretty rough. All right, so that's it. Good luck, folks who are trading RUM. I know I am. I'll be all over RUM today. I think I'll be trading CVV today. At least I'll be trying to. It'll be a little tough with low liquidity. And we'll be back here at 4:30 p.m. doing our Zoom, our weekly collaborative session. And perhaps I'll jump on at 4 p.m. as well to review everything we talked about this morning, hold ourselves accountable and explain price action. And if we miss something, we'll explain why and get greater understanding behind the price action. Thanks for joining, everyone. And if you're not a VIP yet, we got a free trial, StoryTrading.com. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial. And we're interviewing the CEO of Air next Friday after earnings. So you'll jump right in and get some really great exclusive content with us soon. Take care, guys.